Welcome to the MFR Coaches podcast, where we talk about how you can create a six-figure MFR practice. I'm your host, Heather Hommel. Not only have I been practicing MFR for 11 years, I'm also a life and business coach, especially for MFR therapists. My goal is for you to understand how to get fully booked, how to talk to your clients, and how to make sure they understand what's possible for them with MFR treatment. I'm here to help you stop under-earning, overworking, and burning out. I'll lend support so you can create the MFR practice you've always wanted. Learn how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town, and even if you're just starting out, and even if you've ran your practice for years. Let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MFR Coaches podcast. You've made it to the final episode in our Tech That Heals series. And if you've been listening, you already know this. Systems aren't cold or rigid. They're what let you run your business in a way that actually feels sustainable. And your clients like it too. Today, I'm sitting down again with Angie DeBorgia. She is an MFR therapist and tech systems expert and founder of Cultivate, Engage, Monetize, which is a business operations and automation platform built specifically for body workers. While there is a learning curve to tech, it doesn't have to be overwhelming and you don't have to do it alone. You can feel empowered and taken care of by your systems. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by doing it right or waited to set up systems until your business was more established, today's conversation is going to be for you. Angie's going to share some of the most common tech mistakes that she sees and how to sidestep them before they snowball. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to take the first or next step toward a smoother, more scalable practice without needing to become a tech wizard. And Angie's also going to share more about the program that she's created, and you'll be able to get the information in case you want to work with her specifically. So let's dive in. Welcome back, Angie. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Heather.
Awesome. Okay, so the goal of today is to give some practical steps and mindset shifts, like aha moments for everybody that's listening who want to use tech but don't want to be overwhelmed. So let's talk first about the common mistakes that you see happening now that you've been working with MFR therapists specifically with your systems. Like, what are some of the missteps that are causing problems?
One of the biggest challenges when I'm helping people expand into automations and other softwares is their business domain is not housed somewhere they can direct where that business name domain points to or what email services are connected with that domain, because a lot of big names sell you the domain, the where it points to, like on the website, whether it goes to this website that you have or this website, or what email place you use. And sometimes you have to kind of be locked into their system. And so the only way to get out of it perhaps is sometimes moving your website entirely. It just kind of depends on that website provider. So my main thing is, okay, get a domain name, just like, and don't feel like you have to bundle the website and the email all from the same provider. It's almost better when you just get your domain from one place so that you can make sure that in the future, you can use that domain for email. You can use that domain for your website. You can use that domain for another website somewhere else if you decide to leave where your first website is. So that's kind of a big deal. And then also like getting a business email account that starts your habit of just emailing from a business email. Because I know it's so easy to get attached to having your whole business inside of your Gmail calendar, your personal calendar. But the more you can separate your personal and your business activities financially, calendar-wise, communication-wise, it's just better business practice for your brain and just staying organized. So that would be my recommendation is if you have a business email that you're looking for and you're already a Gmail user, like I strongly recommend just going with Google Workspace because it's going to be a seamless transition. It's going to act just like what you're using now in Gmail. So
perfect. That's what I do and I love it.
I love it too. Yeah.
Like all my emails come into my Gmail, so it's perfect. So in that same vein, what's one thing someone could do right now as a new or growing therapist to avoid problems later? Would it just be like, go ahead and get your domain from Google, or go ahead and go get a Google Workspace and separate things out? Or what would you say?
I think Yes, I think the first thing that would be great to do is just decide on a domain and buy it, and then invest in a business email address, a business account. I mean, Google Workspace is not just email, it's a whole fleet of applications that will help you in your business stay organized and efficient. So the starter tier at this time is like $8 a month. It's a lot of value for just that little bit of investment per month. And the more you can get used to saying, oh, I'm emailing from my MFRpractice.com, like then your mindset starts to grow into that I'm a business owner, like it's not I have a business, but I use my Gmail,
Yeah.
you want to go to, I have a business and my email is that, so everything you can do to like help your mindset be turned into this, I'm a business owner and I help people and I'm worth the price and the value that I provide. It's just kind of like you're developing a new image of yourself professionally. And so you want to do everything you can to make that just easy for people to see.
So good. Yeah. And it legitimizes, you help legitimize it for yourself. You are putting that persona on. Like, I am a business owner. It's safe to be a business owner and an MFR therapist. You do like present yourself in a different way where it's just a little different feeling when like you hand a business card over and your email ends and you
yes
versus
yes.
like,
and unfortunately,
theborgiaphysicaltherapy.com.
Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that you could be an amazing therapist.
Yeah.
Just think of the opportunities that you could be missing just because maybe somebody wants to make sure they're with like an established practice or something,
Yeah. Because people like consumers are savvy and they want that experience that if they're going to pay you a lot of money, they want to know that you are a real thing, like a real business established practice. And it's okay for you to be brand new, but you don't have to look brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about faking it until you make it either. I think it just really does solidify and increase your confidence as a business owner when you have some of these things in place and you're not waiting. You're not waiting to see like, oh, is my business going to make it? When you're operating from, is my business going to make it? It will take you longer for your business to make it because you're not coming from, I'm going to make sure my business makes it. And you're taking steps from that persona versus like, maybe if this works out, I'll do the next.
Correct. Yeah.
Purposeful business growing is always more effective. Okay, let's talk to the people that are scared that they're not techie enough. And like, let's just be real and honest. MFR therapists historically are like aged 35 to 75, right? And so there's a good portion of us, like I'm in my mid 40s, where like it was dial up my senior year of high school. And I feel lucky that I had internet in high school, but it couldn't do anything. Like you couldn't really do anything. So, I've had to grow into my adulthood learning tech every step of the way. It was not integrated into my life as a child. So there's a good portion of us that probably grew up that way or worse, like had no exposure until their 40s. So what do you want to say to those people that are like, I've gotten along this far, I have a dumb phone, like I'm not techie? What are we saying to those people?
Yeah, I think the first step is just getting as much of your business in some sort of cloud place or a computer somewhere,
Yeah.
So just simple spreadsheet, first name, last name, email, phone, birth date, notes, tags, and then just decide on how you want to organize your people. Are they prospective? Are they active? Are they past? Are they inactive? Like what naming convention do you want to use? And are they a referral? Are they a referrer? Are they a potential referrer? Like all the kind of things that you'd want to know who's in your list, because your list is going to be your lifeline as you grow. So the more you can know what's in your list, then the better you'll be and the less hassle it'll be later on if you start 50 people into your practice versus 5.
I think too, like we don't realize how many clients we have, especially when we're first setting out. I remember going through my files before I was online or on a computer at all with my business. And I had like the file was so thick just with people that had been coming to see me in my basement,
Yeah.
This is where I started out real small bones. So yeah, I only had to move out of that basement because it flooded. So then I had to get an office and that also was pretty scrappy. But you don't realize how soon you've got this pile of clients and how much better your business could be if you're able to communicate with those people on an ongoing basis. Because people fall off for whatever reason, but imagine emailing them. I just know like if I had to start my MFR business again, if I chose to open it up again, I do have a file with every single client in it, and I could just email them and I know I would be fully booked. I'd be fully booked in the first 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that, and like also to like think that too, like, oh, it doesn't, I could just do this again if I needed to. Got all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're an MFR therapist, this is the bundle you've been waiting for. For the month of June only, you can grab the MFR Coaches Legal Toolbox and the MFR website Legal Bundle together for just $299. That's a $698 value, and you're saving $399 when you purchase both this month. This is about protecting the business you're working so hard to grow. Inside the Legal Toolbox, you get lawyer-drafted, customizable documents like your intake form, client policies, HIPAA disclosures, and special consents for things like pregnancy and minors. Everything is written specifically for myofascial release practices. Pair that with the website Legal Bundle, and now your online presence is protected too. You'll get your disclaimer, terms and conditions, and privacy policy designed just for MFR therapists. This is legal peace of mind in one step. No subscriptions, no fluff, just the exact documents you need to run a professional, compliant, and trustworthy practice. Get both bundles now for $299. This deal disappears at midnight on June 30th. Go to themfrcoach.com/toolbox and protect your business today. So for the people that are not tech savvy though, that maybe they can make a spreadsheet, but they don't want online booking. I think there's a lot of people that have that mindset that like email is annoying and they don't want to email their clients. Like they're afraid to bother their clients in any way. Can you maybe talk to them a little bit?
Yeah. And that's totally normal. I still have a sense of that too. But I also see it as email is helping. So communication is helping. You're not necessarily selling, you're offering to help. So if you think that every time you send an email it's your opportunity to help someone in their journey, then that's what you'd want to do. So I think that, most people probably don't get messages of encouragement or acknowledgement or validation in their inboxes. So even if you're uncertain about what to write, just send something like, I'm thinking about you, I'm rooting for you, I'm here if you need me, like that type of thing. It doesn't have to be like a sales email. It can just be like someone that you're writing to a friend that is going through a hard time. And, don't feel like it has to be this expertly written thing, because the more down to earth you can be even more, relatable and approachable, and it's seen as someone that can understand them, the client, and who is the person to go see for help, for care.
Yeah. I think too, like you do this as an ongoing thing in your business. You support your clients via email, you nurture them, you offer them more sessions via email, like all of the things. And the whole point of this series is to talk about how, tech can actually be something that helps heal. It can help heal your business that's feeling overwhelmed. It can help heal your clients in the way that they stay in treatment. And it can help ensure that your business gets paid, right? People aren't canceling the last minute because they're busy. They're prioritizing their health, which can be very healing for you as a therapist and also very healing for the patient that stays on the books.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that we, call that out. And the whole point of doing this 3-part series is to make tech less overwhelming and less scary for therapists so that they can help more people quicker and take off the load, like the mental load from carrying all of this in their brains. So
yeah,
if we think about what's truly possible for MFR therapists who are willing to embrace technology as part of their support system, like, what do you think is possible for these therapists? Maybe they've never, they're going to listen to this and they're going to go and get a professional email for the first time. What do you think is possible for these therapists that are ready to take this kind of action?
Yeah, just taking the first step and starting to use a business email and some kind of a spreadsheet to organize who is in your business. That's the first step to achieving more peace of mind with your business, achieving like a stable practice that has, stable, predictable revenue and growth, and a practice that's more rewarding professionally and personally, and just more peace of mind that you're delivering on your mission and it's not taking a lot of energy that could be spent somewhere else. So, I mean, that's the vision, is peace of mind and fulfillment and feeling rewarded at the same time. So, but with knowing that you can also grow and expand to see what next opportunities or potential you have too. That it's the technology can be only an extension of what you want, the impact you want to have in your community. It's just a matter of making it an extension of yourself with your voice and your ideas. So,
yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, like your voice and your ideas. People listening are probably like, holy cow, Angie sends out a series for, I think you talked about in the last episode of like, you can send out like 180-day series of emails. If people were to work with you and your system, let's talk about that directly. Are they going to 80 emails or like what happens and what do you help them?
when I work with people, my main goal is to get them the most priority tasks is like making sure that their clients are taken care of and that their clients are coming back. And so that starts with the nurture emails that go out when a patient has booked a first visit, because you always want to help the client be excited for the next step, not to be having 3 packages, but just get them excited for the next step in the journey. So that's the 4 email series. And then if they only came once and said they would book and never did, then what sequence can be dripped out after that? So I can kind of help them with that and make sure, and everything, can be customized to their voice. But my intent is to give them ready out of the box sets of multiple emails for each stage of the journey, so that you can skim through it and set go, or you can go in and edit it later, or you can wait and just really edit it exactly how you want before you launch. So either way, it's ready to roll with your information, your business information. Your booking link is already like inserted into the email. You don't have to, if you have 5 emails before a new patient comes, or 5 emails for people that haven't been back in a while, when you edit the emails, you don't have to edit every single email if you change your booking link or you change your website. It's like one centralized place to change your phone number, your business it's just efficient because it's built for you to customize what you need without having to do it a gazillion times because you have gazillion emails that are going out,
Yeah.
I think give you like a toolbox for each stage of the journey and a way to customize the toolbox without having to go into every email. And then give you like, okay, this is where you customize the emails. This is where you see how often they go out. This is what triggers it. So it's kind of like what works for you. How do you work your business? Do you want an email to go out every day or every other day? Okay, let me help you with that. So it's just kind of like teaching you how to customize your processes so it works for how you want to run your practice.
That's awesome. And it can also kind of be plug and play. Like they could just get your system, enter in their information on that one area, and they don't have to edit a thing if they didn't want to.
No, once they get the onboarding, like everyone gets at least 2 Zoom call onboardings for the tech integration, and then training on how to use the aspects, the features of the software, and then, ongoing support from me and my team for other tech questions and ideas and things. So yeah, because everybody's practice is different, and I feel really in a special place because I have had the same growth pains that MFR therapists have, and the same challenges in communicating with clients in an authentic way. So I, as best I can, try to put the messaging that we want to, from our seminars and our training into the emails. And so at least you're not starting from complete scratch for every stage of the client journey for multiple emails in the client journey.
Yeah. It's like you've already tried this out. You've already put it into an MFR therapist voice. They don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
You're not crafting emails from scratch. Maybe you just like tweak a word or something here and there.
Yeah. Like you maybe rephrase a sentence or 2 or something. Like it's not so overwhelming. I mean, it's going to be work in the beginning because it's a lot of content, but you can turn on what you want and then review the other stuff and turn that on when you're ready,
Yeah. The hardest part is like, where's your DNS settings coming from?
Yes. And what's your login? Where is your website?
And where's your logins? That's the other thing, like we've talked about before, is like, do you have LastPass? Do you have something that's collecting where everything is stored so you can easily access it? So now is the time, if you don't have those things, to start gathering them. I just think for MFR therapists, if we're just projecting on like what is the vision we see, I see our community continually growing and thriving. And the more we can help MFR therapists to create practices that are sustainable, and not just sustainable or hustly. I want people to have a life outside of their business. And I feel like having these tools and automations really helps you to put your brain to rest when you walk out of your treatment room, so that you can rest in your resting time or have fun in your life outside of your business. You don't have to be businessing all of the time. Also, I see the future of many, many, many more therapists continuing to make more and more money. And the more therapists we have making money, the more accessible MFR becomes, the more therapists that are doing it everywhere. So I just want to encourage people to not be afraid to open up their MFR practice, to not be afraid to automate their practices in all of the ways that are available for them for those automations. It's like having a team, but not having to work with any other personalities, which is great.
Yes. And another thing too, I meant to mention too, is like maybe you like to create your own like handouts for people, or like for me personally, I create like a document that's specific to that person, what our findings were, what their goals are, word for word, what exercises or self-care I've given them. I make videos for my people, and I save that as a Google Doc secure link in my workspace, and I add that as a custom data field under that contacts record. So periodically through those 15, 16 nurture emails, they're going to get a link to their plan. And so it's not like you give them this handout during the first session or second session and then it gets lost. It's like, okay, by the way, here's a link to or programming just in case, let me know if you have a question. So you're trying to like reinforce everything you're telling them, and don't feel like you're repeating yourself too much, because it's the repetition that's really going to help them.
That is awesome. That's such a great idea too. So I think people who are considering, working with Angie, using this program, consider like all the heavy lifting Angie has done for you. And I know that her program is very robust. We're only talking about email for the sake of this series, because we don't want to fire hose you all, but it's worth getting on her waitlist, attending one of her teaching webinars, and really like doing a deep dive into what's possible for you if you use these specific automations in your practice. But even if you don't, go back. If you haven't listened to the other 2 episodes that we recorded, go back and listen to them, because Angie was dropping a lot of gems of what are some simple steps that you can take to make sure that you make your practice easier now with the tech, with using tech. So I just want to thank you so much for being part of this series, Angie. If you wanted to add anything else or tell people where they can find you, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to connect with me, just join my waitlist, cem.choiceexpmarketing.com/waitlist. And I'll send you a hello, and you can reply back and say you'd like to get on a call or a discovery call, and I can learn about your situation and make recommendations for you.
Perfect. That's awesome. So you can get on a call with Angie. You can wait for her to do a training. You can do both. It's pretty awesome to be able to have this kind of access to you. So thank you so much for offering this for our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, everybody, that wraps up our 3-part series. Again, if you haven't listened to both of the other episodes, they are out now. So go and listen to them. We will see you on another episode of the MFR Coaches podcast next week. Bye for now.
Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a minute and rate and review the podcast. I appreciate it. For more information, please follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The MFR Coach. And check out my website, www.themfrcoach.com, for more information. If you are currently not working 20 hours or less and making 6 figures in your MFR business, I want to help you change that. Make sure you tune into the show and get on my email list so you never miss out on important trainings and information. To be the first to find out when we are enrolling next for my 12-month Business Foundations coaching program, get on that email list at www.themfrcoach.com/join. Inside this program, you'll learn how to raise your rate, overcome objections, and sell MFR. You'll become the MFR therapist that never under-earns and never burns out. It's up to us to make MFR mainstream, and it starts with you and your successful MFR practice. See you next week.